Hello, I'm Theodore Parker, and this is The Sideshow. And this is Thursday, February 3rd, 2022. Outside, 32 feels like 24, and we have snow coming. Right here, presently, freezing rain. So, don't forget about the mask. We have all these comments going on around COVID. And being careful and safe. The last couple of days, amongst the news items that have been available, Spotify has definitely been in the headlines. And I thought I would kind of touch on that since it kind of ended my day and started my day. But to kind of set it up a little bit, what happened was I was perusing the news feeds and looking at some social media, and one artist had commented, female, and remember, we are in Black History Month, so right quick, she commented about Spotify, the music industry in general, and fair treatment across the board, for Black artists involved in music. So, that being said, these comments were made prior to this latest situation, that came up involving Joe Rogan. But the comments I'm about to give you now are related to the situation that happened with Joe Rogan. So, you already have, the premise set that things have been kind of this way and that way with Spotify. So let me just share this with you. Many industry aspects argue, though it created a lot of headlines, the dispute isn't likely to create much substantive change for Rogan, Spotify, or the broader podcast industry. Now, in case you're not sure what it is that's being discussed, Neil Young was on a podcast with Joe Rogan, and just to get a little filler on it, Joe Rogan signed in 2020 a $100 million contract with Spotify for his podcast. And Joe Rogan is not just like new to the scene, like a teenager or a young man just coming on getting started. He's been around for a while and mostly associated with mixed martial arts. So since we have that in common, myself, enjoy the martial arts and the aspects that go with it, along with the benefits, then I know who he is. Now, if you want another side of the coin, you can Google Joe Rogan's comedy routine. And then I think you have a pretty good 360 right there. Joe Rogan's comedy routine, stand-up routine, you can form your own opinion. Okay. So they say that while Spotify would certainly prefer to have Young or Mitchell's, Joni Mitchell is another one that was doing her music for Spotify, work on their platforms, the company has so far too much of its business model invested in Rogan's success to push back on the content he creates, let alone remove his show entirely. Some also make the case that even if Spotify did kick him off, the move would be largely cosmetic because Rogan's show is popular enough to thrive wherever it's hosted. Give credit where credit is due, such as credit is. Now, others argue that the attention the situation has drawn to Spotify has at minimum shown the company that it must be accountable for the content on its platform, a responsibility that until now have been applied only to social media platforms. So there was a lot of people that waded in, a lot of, I guess, journalists that provide articles for various media outlets, and it's all contained in there. What effect and what is the fallout behind Joe Rogan and Spotify? So, you from where you sit, have an opinion. I have an opinion. They have an opinion. But as they say, we'll see. Moving on through the headlines. Feds charge 4 men in overdose death of actor Michael K. Williams, who gained fame playing Omar Little on The Wire. Remember last year when his death was announced in New York, there were small clips I remember, particularly the one of him dancing in the park. And I kind of gave him credit for having that reggae style, that's easily identifiable from Bob Marley and the music that he created and put out to the world. So that has been cleared up. If you would like more details, I'm quite sure you can access them for yourself. Next, President Biden says U.S. raid in Syria killed the leader of ISIS and that all Americans have returned safely from the operation. So the leader of ISIS, Islamic states including Syria, ISIS is dead. From the Pentagon, at least 13 civilians were reported killed after a Pentagon official says U.S. Special Forces carried out counterterrorism mission in Syria. That was on the news headlines as well. And right back to where we are now. Winter storm packing, snow, freezing rain moves across the U.S. I know I was having contact from people during the evening hours, and they would ask me how am I doing, what's going on, et cetera, et cetera. I said, well, here in Kentucky, we're under a winter weather warning, and the governor's declared a state of emergency here, Kentucky. So I learned also that state of emergency means that government workers do not have to report in, amongst other things. So that means less traffic on the road, less people out trying to commute, less chance of traffic hazards and accidents. Officials urge residents to stay off roads and schools, close campuses. If everything, according, holds to where it is right now, this is the real deal, said Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear. So there we have it. February, Black History Month 2022. Winter months. That's it. Hashtag